We know who we are. You know who we are. We are QPR.
This video will look back at the 1973-74 season, a major one for the club. Following promotion to the top flight, this was an opportunity to establish ourselves among the elites of the game. Now, Rangers' last spell in the top flight had lasted just one season, but the feeling was that it was going to be different this time, and some of the most exciting players around were wearing the blue and white hoops, alongside some real experience in the team. Manager Gordon Jago was confident things were going to go well, but he needed some top division experience, and that was something he would go after. Arsenal captain Frank McClintock had won a double with the North London side in 1970, but after they refused to grant him a testimonial, he was put up for sale for the low fee of £25,000. Now, McClintock was 33 years old, so it didn't seem like a long-term signing, and we faced fierce competition for his signature from West Brom. Gordon Jago sold the club to Frank as a club that was on the up, and him not having to move house or change his kids' school certainly helped him end up in West London rather than West Brom. Frank was bitterly upset about leaving Arsenal, though, where he remains a club legend, and he wanted to prove them wrong for letting him go. So with McClintock signed, Rangers were all set for a new season. With confidence high, there would be no repeat of that relegation that we suffered the last time we were in the top flight. We opened the season at home to Southampton. Jerry Francis was suspended, so John Delve came in to replace him. And McClintock was still a few weeks away from making his debut, so Terry Mancini and long-serving Tony Hazel started in defence for Rangers. Don Givens got us off the mark for the season, as we drew 1-1 with Southampton. So it wasn't quite the start Rangers had hoped for, and we got another draw against Norwich, followed by a narrow 2-1 defeat at Old Trafford against Manchester United. Rangers were playing well, though, and they welcomed West Ham to Loftus Road in one of the most entertaining 0-0 draws you'll ever see. Rangers played their London rivals off the park. We had 3 goals disallowed, and it was clear to see that this QPR side were going to be great to watch. We had an exciting 3-3 draw with Stoke next, with Mick Leach, Terry Venables and Mancini scoring for Rangers, before a rematch with West Ham at Upton Park, played on a Monday night. Now, Rangers had still never won away in the top flight, but that was about to change. We absolutely tore West Ham apart in the first half. Don Givens scored twice before West Ham pulled a goal back. Ron Abbott then headed in from a corner to make it 3-1, and despite a late goal from West Ham, we had our first ever away win in the top flight. It was Everton up next as we tried to make it back-to-back away wins.
Darracott. Royal to Connolly. And a header by Lyons, and it's in!
Those youngsters off the pitch, please. Come on, off the pitch, lads. Off the pitch, please.
A really superb goal. The ball comes out to Connolly, and it's a very good hard cross he hits, and a magnificent diving header by Lyons. Parks did well to get his hands to it, but he couldn't keep it from going into the net.
So defeat Everton, and another draw followed, 2-2 this time at home to Birmingham City, with Stan Bowles getting his first goal of the season on an afternoon when Frank McClintock made his QPR debut. We ended September with a tough-looking trip to Newcastle, where Rangers showed what they were all about.
Good play by him. Searching out MacDonald. Hibbert again. Moncur. Smith let that ball run. And now Francis. And that's Mick Leach. Thomas with a shot. And a goal. Queen's Park Rangers have scored in the second minute. A goal by Thomas. Defensive error by Irving Nattrass let Thomas in for that easy goal. And that's really stunned the Newcastle crowd. Cassidy couldn't control that ball. And now Bowles. Thomas. Francis with a shot, and it's a goal! Jerry Francis has scored for Rangers now. A dipping volley from outside the box, which beat Ian McFall. Well, this is certainly a good day for Queen's Park Rangers. Newcastle look thunderstruck. 4 minutes gone and 2 down at home. Here goes MacDonald. He's hit the post! This is not Newcastle's day. No doubt well satisfied with the present position, as is his skipper, Terry Venables. So free kick to Rangers on the edge of the box. And it's there! A third goal for Queen's Park Rangers. The scorer, Mick Leach. A free kick, quickly taken, chipped forward, and Mick Leach put it into the net.
So as September ended, Rangers sat in 11th place. We had 2 wins, 2 defeats and 5 draws from the opening 9 games. Not a bad start to the season. Don Gibbons was top goal scorer with 3, whilst Jerry Francis and Mick Leach both got 2 each. October started with a West London derby against Chelsea at a packed Loftus Road, and the big match cameras were there to capture the action.
Osgood. Taking it all for risk there, but winning in the end. Beautifully beating Venables and Leach, and there's the ball now for Alan Hudson. Played forward for Canberra, back for Osgood, blasting it against Mancini. Webb following it in. And Locke just keeping it in, taking 2 challenges and still winning. And now it's with Locke for Chelsea. Across in there, and oh yes, an own goal by Mancini. Well, Chelsea's build-up was magnificent for that. And when it looked like breaking down, Locke performed miracles to keep it going. And the cross really fooled Mancini and left him with a dilemma. And he could only tuck it past his own goalkeeper, Phil Parks. Venables' header. Playing some neat stuff, Queen's Park Rangers in little bursts. Gibbons there finding Thomas. Venables, mastermind in the middle of the field for them. Hazel. Good looking cross there. Gibbons was hopeful of getting in there and it fell for him again. Bowles, yes! The goal is given. Stan Bowles has equalised. Well, Gibbons, as that ball came across, leapt well. Lost it for a moment, but it came to Bowles. And Bowles hammered it in left-footed.
Rangers followed up that draw with a win in the League Cup, beating Tottenham 1-0 at Loftus Road. It was Burnley next, who Rangers had won promotion with the previous year, and Dave Thomas scored against his old club. But it wasn't enough for a win as Burnley ran out 2-1 winners. The games were coming thick and fast though, and next up was a trip to Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Dugan wide on this touchline. Pivot for Daly. Again reaching for Dugan across the box for Richards. Gets it down and scores. Eventually it had to happen. A minute and a half left of the first half and John Richards scores his 2nd goal of the season. So we're going on and Rangers are at 10 men as the free kick's taken and Bowles takes the shot now and he gets the equaliser. There it is, 1-1. 15 minutes into the second half and Stan Bowles, a very happy number 10. Split second hesitation by Wolves and it's in the back of the net. Thomas with the corner. Mancini. Leach, what a great goal! Mick Leach! It's 2-1 to Rangers. 23.5 minutes into the second half, and Rangers have come from being 1 down at the end of the first half to take a 2-1 lead. Mick Leach, the scorer. The corner ball by Thomas. Mancini getting the head, and a most acrobatic kick by Leach, cannoning the ball in off the underside of the crossbar. So, there's a surprising scoreline. For a long time in the first half, we thought we were going to get no goals at all. Hibbett. Now Daly for Wolves. They've really got to work now. Hard and low, it's there. And I think Sunderland has got it. Sunderland and McClintock went there. Sunderland certainly claiming it for himself. So, 1 minute after Leach puts Rangers in front. Wolves 11. That hard-hit ball across the face of the goals. Sunderland went for it with McClintock, and I'm pretty certain that Sunderland got the touch and it went in the net. Parkin. Leaving it for Daly. A good head. Sunderland was the boy. Got on the end of it. And Thomas absolutely streaking out for Rangers. Over the side is Bowles. Has he seen him? He has. He can't miss it, surely. He didn't. What a glorious move out. The scoreline is 3-2 in favour of Rangers now. 7 minutes to go. And there was an attack of Wolves which breaks down. Thomas made a 50-yard run down that left side, saw Bowles in the middle, knocked the ball into him, and Bowles did the rest. Gets his second goal of the game. Mancini kept his head then. Hibbett, Calliog, Daly, Hegan. Bunched in the box, there's nobody wide. Sunderland a miskick, Taylor in. Hazel giving the corner away. Thomas stops it. That's a good safe ball when you're 3-2 up away from home, and Leach could make something of this one. Bowles has gone galloping in the middle again, unmarked. And a penalty it is. McCall, the man who brings down Leach. So, are we going to have 4-2? Terry Venables, I think, is the fellow they'll call up to have a go at the penalty. He's had one already this season against Stoke in a 3-3 result. No, it's Francis placing the ball down there coolly. So that race by Leach. McCall stops him, and the penalty. Francis takes it. It's 4-2 Rangers. A minute and a half of the game left. And a very, very unhappy afternoon for Wolves now. From 1-0 up in the first half, they're dragged back at 4-2.
So another win for QPR then. And next up, it was Arsenal visiting Loftus Road. And Frank McClintock had an opportunity to prove his former club wrong for letting him go.
Straight to Leach. Here's Gibbons. Gibbons finds Clement. There's Francis. Oh, Batson was risking something there. Thomas, his Bowles. Bob Wilson on the floor. The defence in disarray. And Rangers are 2 goals ahead.
So 2 wins in a row then. And Gordon Jago's side was really starting to impress. That was our first win over Arsenal in over 50 years. There was a downside though, as assistant manager Bobby Campbell left the club to join Arsenal. Now Campbell had been a bit frustrated he didn't get a pay rise after promotion, and Arsenal proved too good an opportunity to turn down. Now that move meant that former player Frank Sibley was given more responsibilities on the coaching side, and with senior players like Venables and McClintock helping out in the training ground, the team weren't really affected. We ended October in 10th place. No real fears of relegation, to be honest, and hopes were growing that this could be a pretty special season. Stan Bowles and Don Gibbons were joint top goal scorers with 5 each, whilst Jerry Francis had 3 to his name. November started with a trip to Derby County, who had won the First Division in 1972, and they were just starting to get used to life without their legendary manager Brian Clough, who had recently departed the club.
So, Derby haul men back inside their box. Rangers stick 5 men forward now, including Mancini. Mancini across the box. Well out, the shot is on for Francis. And he scores it! What a good goal by Jerry Francis. The expertise then, tucking it away into the corner. 1-0 Rangers. There's a surprise. 10 minutes gone. First-class bit of opportunism. That ball knocked back by Mancini. Francis ghosting in hard and fast, and did well to keep his shot down into the corner of the net. Thomas with the corner. And that's number 2, Stan Bowles. Oh, what a gentle, simple goal. 19 minutes into the second half, and Stan Bowles makes it 2-0 Rangers. A set-piece move. Thomas, the corner. Number 11, Gibbons, gets a little tiny touch with his head, and there's Bowles on the line. The easiest job in the world to score. McGovern for Hector. Hector sweeps past one. There's too many people there, though. And he points to the spot. Referee Jolly points to the spot for Mancini, knocking down Hector. And Venables, Mancini, McClintock, you can see the expressions on their faces. Astonished, disbelief, angry. Mancini, the angriest of the lot. He's the man who brought him down. And Mancini's still having a go at referee Jolly. So Archie Gemmill is the man on whom Derby looked at this moment. Here he goes with the penalty. And he gets it. That was beautifully tucked away, left-footed, right in the corner pocket. So the score, 2-1. 22 minutes into the second half. Burks comes. And headed away by Mancini. Oh, and they pat that ball in.
It was the League Cup next, and Rangers went goal crazy, thrashing Sheffield Wednesday 8-2 at Loftus Road. Doubles for Mick Leach and Don Gibbons, as well as 2 own goals, and goals from Jerry Francis and Stan Bowles completed the rout before Coventry City travelled to Loftus Road.
Mancini, the number 5, right in there again, has won some very valuable balls in the air. Here comes the corner now. A low one this time. Touched in, and Bowles, yes! Bowles has scored. In many ways identical to the one he got at Derby last week. On the goal line, touching it in as the corner comes over, hit low, touched on, and Bowles there at the far side. And that's 1-0 to QPR. Venables lifting it over as they've done before. Francis turning it in. Yes! Oh, a lovely little free kick goal. Jerry Francis, the man who scored it past that bewildered Coventry wall. A little lob over by Venables. Francis was there and turned it in before the Coventry defence had moved. Coventry have shown their composure for so long in this game. They've lost a little bit of in the last 4 or 5 minutes. Terry Mancini right up there again, wanting his share of the action. So now Venables with the free kick. Floated this time deep and straight in! Yes, that will do! Well, Venables floating it all the way in. I think that's a question mark against Bill Glazier.
5 wins in a row for QPR then as we moved up to 7th place. It had been an incredible start to the season. And up next was Manchester City away. And that was one that Rangers fans had been looking out for. The first chance to see us up against Rodney Marsh, and a rare chance to see Stan Bowles and Rodney Marsh on the same pitch together. On the day, Phil Parkes was excellent in goal, denying Dennis Law, before Rodney Marsh won a penalty after being pulled back by Jerry Francis, which was converted by Francis Lee. It proved to be a pretty volatile game, with Terry Venables booked for a foul on Marsh, and he accused his former teammate of diving in an angry exchange. Stan Bowles was up against his former side, and like Venables, found himself getting a warning from the referee on a bad-tempered afternoon. So Rangers' winning run was over, and things got worse when we faced Plymouth Argyle in the next round of the League Cup. Expectations were of another win and a chance of getting to Wembley with this exciting side, but Plymouth had other ideas.
Alan Welsh played out of his skin, scoring a classy solo opener. Steve Davey pounced for the second. And Welsh bagged the third against a team who, like Burnley, hadn't lost at home for a year.
After that frustrating defeat, Rangers got back on track and Frank McClintock got his first QPR goal as we drew 2-2 with title holders Liverpool. Stan Bowles got the other goal that day, making him top goal scorer with 9 goals. Don Givens had 7, Jerry Francis 6 from midfield, whilst Mick Leach continued to go under the radar with 5 goals before December. We sat in 7th place, the highest position that the club had been in at that time. December started with a trip to Leeds United, and a side who would go on to win the league that season.
Venables quickly finds Givens. Givens has another chance. Bowles. Thomas! A goal! Beautifully taken. Queen's Park Rangers deserve that. They've played adventurous football when they've had the opportunity. The ball coming up quickly from that Venables free kick and laid at the toe of Thomas, who hit the low one past Harvey. So Queen's Park Rangers go into the lead. Francis pushing it through towards Givens. Now Bowles. Hazel. Hazel pushing it down. It's Yorath behind Bremner. For Jordan. Hunter to Lorimer. Lorimer, an extremely good first half. A player who's kept his feet well, used the ball well. Hunter, as usual, strong in defence. Now going forward. Yorath. Coming through to Jones. Back for Bremner. Lorimer. Good header away by McClintock. Yorath. Jones! A goal! It's 2-1. The whole of the Queen's Park Rangers defence stood still. Jones and Jordan were together. Neither of them was offside. And a beautifully taken goal by Jones, who nodded it neatly wide of the stranded Parks. Parks just couldn't move. Hunter, Mancini, Thomas to Francis. Bremner, but Francis, helped by Clement, won it. Clement leaving it for Bowles. Venables, the quick flick, Francis, Bowles, yes, off a defender, I think. The equaliser credited to Bowles, but it appeared to go on the underside of a defender's foot. But good football as it was flicked on. Francis couldn't turn round. and it was Bowles who put the low shot in to equalise for Queen's Park Rangers.
That draw was followed by another draw, this time at home to Sheffield United, before a defeat at Leicester made it 4 games without a win, before a home match against Newcastle United.
Bowles. Leach. Flicked on there beautifully by Venables to Francis. Played on in turn for Clement. Can he get the shot in? Oh yes! Dave Clement! And that's 1-0 for Queen's Park Rangers with 26 minutes gone. Started with the flick by Venables, turned on by Francis then to Clement, and he hit it wide of McFall and in off the far post, 1-0. Craig joining up with the attack again, Hibbett. And now Leach. Now Rangers with 3 men up, and it's 3 against 4. The break is on for them, still with Leach. There's Francis available on this side. Now Bowles. Played this time for Venables. Francis supporting him. Here's Francis. Crossed in again. Givens is coming up late. There's Givens! So Don Givens makes it 2-0. And Newcastle have themselves to blame as the rain really comes hurtling down now. That long cross over from the left. A misunderstanding between Moncur and I think McFall, and Givens coming in late to pick his spot. Hibbett and Howard are standing behind it. And it's Hibbett who chips it. And it's Tudor who goes in. And it's McDermott who blasts one. And it's gone in off the number 3. I think it's an own goal there, off Gillard. But it's an own goal. And Newcastle are right back in the hunt. McDermott, a tremendous shot. The deflection going in off the Rangers defender. And Newcastle are right in it. If you take the 6-yard line as being 6 yards, say 9 yards, that Rangers wall, to be fair, has got to be almost at the near post. Well, they're a good 3 yards or so off that near post at the moment, but this could be very dangerous in the last couple of minutes. Hibbett playing it wide there, Moncur hitting it through, and it's there! And they've equalised, and it's Bobby Moncur who's done it. Well, Moncur came in, Hibbett that little pass from the free kick when Newcastle thought it should have been a penalty, and Moncur through a crowd of players, giving Parks no chance. Pulled back the 2 goals, but here's Thomas again with another deep cross towards Mick Leach. Moncur, the number 6 on his back, obliterated by the mud, and here's Leach. Got Francis free, but very few seconds are left. Here's Venables turning it in for Bowles. And he scored! Stan Bowles has made it 3-2. Well, one comeback after another. Newcastle had pulled back the 2 goals and seemed to have won themselves a point. And now in the last seconds of the game, as the ball comes through to Bowles, a minimum of backlift, and that's 3-2.
That win moved Rangers into the top 6 before a Boxing Day draw away at Tottenham, as we finished 1973 off in disappointing fashion, losing 4-1 to Stoke. It was around this stage of the season that manager Gordon Jago looked into the possibility of strengthening his team with the great George Best. Now imagine that as a front line. Dave Thomas, Don Givens, Stan Bowles and George Best. It was something Jago was keen on doing to help build the crowds up and push the team on to new heights. Now, Best was available for transfer, and Jago knew that Chairman Jim Gregory would be keen on making that happen. But eventually, Jago decided that these off-field issues for George Best would have a negative impact on the team, and he decided against making a move. So no George Best in a QPR shirt then. But he was at Loftus Road on New Year's Day with his Manchester United team, full of superstars, but they were no match for a rampant QPR side in what turned out to be George Best's last ever match for Manchester United. And the third round of the FA Cup saw us visit Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, where we got a 0-0 draw to bring them back to Loftus Road. Before that replay, the winning run continued with a 1-0 win against Everton, before that cup replay against Chelsea, which was moved to a Monday afternoon due to power cuts. And with little to no fan segregation, it was a heated afternoon off the pitch and an unforgettable one on it. So QPR into the fourth round of the FA Cup then, where we faced a home tie against Birmingham City.
Could be on, and is from Mick Leach. Beautiful run by Stanley Bowles, which delights the crowd, and Mick Leach the scorer. But there's the man who made it. Stanley Bowles being congratulated by skipper Terry Venables. It was Stanley Bowles' run in the inside left position, squaring past three, and his cross was very well put home by Leach. It's Givens, that's it! I think that was quite deliberate. Look at the smiles on the faces, that positioning of Mancini. They made it late, they made it obvious, and in the end it was played on the near post, and that time the pace of Don Gibbons' header was too much for Gary's break.
The season was turning into a dream, with fantastic league form and now an FA Cup run. After drawing 0-0 away at Coventry City in the fifth round of the Cup, it was back to Loftus Road for an epic replay. So QPR into the quarter-finals for only the fifth time in our history, and excitement was growing that a trophy could be on the way. We were in fine form and made it 4 games unbeaten for the season against Chelsea in a 6-goal thriller at Stamford Bridge. Goals from Don Givens and a double for Stan Bowles helped us to a 3-3 draw. We followed that up with a home game against Burnley, and goals from Dave Thomas and Stan Bowles won us that one, before Tottenham came to Loftus Road.
Nice dummy, Abbott finds Givens. Oh, fine goal! Bit of space for Perryman. 4 in the middle for him too. Evans finds himself on the left wing. Oh. And he might have got something then if he'd gone down, Ray Evans. And the referee has given a penalty. But the crowd, just as incensed as the Rangers players, Shivers will take the kick. And scores to make it 1-1. Well, Rangers are sick about that. This is Francis. Touched by Abbott, here's Bowles. Oh yes, 2-1. Jennings must have been unsighted, I think. Fine shot though by Stanley Bowles. Now Givens against Dillon, who did very well. Thomas now.
Jerry Francis.
That win put us up to 4th place in the table, an incredible achievement for a newly promoted club. It was time now though for the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, as Rangers faced Leicester City at Loftus Road.
Waters. Oh yes! Oh yes for the youngster! Oh! He'll remember that all his life. What a way to start your career in big-time football! Oh, he was in his own half, so he's all right. Waters again. I don't think he can possibly believe it.
Heartbreak then for QPR as we crashed out of the FA Cup, with Peter Shilton in fine form for them. Leicester would go on to lose the semi-final to eventual cup winners Liverpool, and they came 4th in the competition during an odd time when the FA Cup had a 3rd place playoff match. That defeat certainly affected the mood around Loftus Road, but we were still a tough side to beat. Draws against Derby and Wolves and a win against Coventry thanks to Jerry Francis kept Rangers 5th in the table. We lost narrowly at Anfield 2-1 before Manchester City arrived at Loftus Road without the injured Rodney Marsh, and they left with no points at all as Rangers thrashed them 3-0. Mick Leach scored twice to make it 9 goals for the season, while Stan Bowles got his 21st goal of the season to complete the rout. That did prove to be our last win of the season though, as we ended on a bit of a poor run, losing twice against Ipswich over Easter, as well as losing 4-0 at Birmingham and 1-0 to champions Leeds United. A 1-1 draw of Arsenal on the final day of the season completed a memorable year though, as we finished 8th in the top flight, and manager Gordon Jago had done so well he was interviewed for the vacant England manager's job. The FA ended up going with Don Revie, but for the QPR manager to be considered for that role, it just showed how well we'd done that season. On the subject of international football, we had players earn first caps for England that year as well. Stan Bowles and Phil Parkes both started for England away in Portugal in a 0-0 draw, another sign of how far the club had come. So what a season then, our 2nd ever in the top flight, and it was no repeat of that emphatic relegation of 1968. QPR finished in 8th place and were top London club. Leeds United won the title and Manchester United were relegated. Stan Bowles, Phil Parkes and Don Givens all made 42 league and cup appearances across the season. Stan Bowles was top goal scorer with 22 goals, the highest ever at that time by a QPR player in the top flight, whilst Don Givens got an impressive 15 goals that season. It had been a great season at Loftus Road. We'd arrived at the top table of English football and showed that we belong there. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a like and subscribe to the channel.